is our October Knit Crate yarn, and it's the Uhu yarn. Very pretty color. It's a super bulky, and this is 82% merino wool, 18% Peruvian Prima cotton, and it has 109 yards. So very nice. The color is gorgeous. So I am going to be making a swirly hat, and I'm using size 13 US needles and this the super bulky yarn. So let me have 35 stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 30, 32, 34, 35. So once you have that, the first row you knit, and the second row you purl, and I'll be back. Okay, so on the third row you are going to knit one. Let me get this out of the way. And then you're going to pick up that strand in between those two stitches, that strand there, and you put it over your needle. So the right leg of the stitch is in the front. And so now you're going to pick up the back of the stitch and knit that. And so like that we are creating a stitch. And then we're going to knit all the way until we have 3 stitches left. So at the end of this row, I knit these 2 stitches together and knit 1. And then on the way back, I only purl. And then I'm going to repeat rows 3 and 4 again and place a stitch marker on the side where you add and take off stitches. You don't do anything on the other side. Okay, we want to have 6 rows of straight stitch on the right side, and then 6 rows of reverse straight stitch next to this one. So let's do the reverse straight stitch. The first stitch we purl, and then we're going to pick up that strand in between your 2 stitches and place it on your needle from the front to the back and purl that stitch through the front so it's twisted, it doesn't leave a hole. And then you purl your row until you have 3 stitches left, and I will see you then. Okay, so I'm at the end of row number 7. I purl 2 stitches together and then purl 1. And then on the way back, I knit the whole row, and I repeat these last 2 rows 2 more times. So that means you're going to have 6 rows of the right side straight stitch and 6 rows of the reverse side straight stitch. It looks like a right side on the other side. So then you're going to repeat these 2 sections. So we have 2 sections, and you're going to be making, let me put this one a little bit back. You're going to be making the 12 rows once, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So once you have the 5 times, I will see you in a minute. I am going to be placing my stitches on a scrap yarn until I am ready to sew them with the other side. But the reason is that I want to show you how to make the brim on straight needles instead of circular needles, because it's something that you can do also, and then sew it. So let's do that. I'm going to place all these stitches on scrap yarn. Okay, so what you want to do is where you have your yarn, you're going to pick up the stitches on the edge of your work. So you can do it normally, like pick up and knit, or you can use a hook if you wish. So pick up and bring your yarn through and place it on your needle. Okay, so again, pick up and place it on your needle. And so do that on each one of the rows. I pick up and place it on your needle. You can do it like that, or just like so. So on each one, so that is a single one, and that would be a knot. So I will see you when I finish doing this. So I have my 60 stitches, one from every row on the edge. And now the first row I am going to knit, and then the second row I am going to purl. So it means it's going to be straight stitch. So knit one row and purl one row, and I will see you when I finish the amount that I need. Okay, so what you want to do is do straight stitch for 12 rows and then bind off on the 13th row, which is what I already did here. And then I am going to cut my yarn, not too long, because when you sew with it, the yarn gets thinner and it doesn't look nice. So you can add some yarn later. So now I am going to be sewing this. The brim is going to go like this, like so. So there we go. So that means I want to sew on this side. I always sew on the right side, and also I am going to pick up my stitches from the spare yarn. I'm going to pick up my stitches, all of them, and then I will see you in a bit. You want to pick up your yarn and go into that stitch on the other side, and there we go, and then go from one side to the other. So I will go into that same stitch and go into the next one, which is, I'm going to skip that one that is only one and go into the middle of that knot. And then I will go where I left off last time and skip that one and go into the middle of that knot there. So we have a tutorial on how to sew from side to side. Please look it up. So again, we go where we left off on this side, skip that one, and go into that the next one that has the crossed yarns, which is, so you skip that one and then you have the knot and go into the middle of it, and then come into where you left off, skip that one and go into the middle of the knot, and I will see you when I finish this part. See, it doesn't show, your seam is not supposed to show, so I will show you in a minute. So you need to turn your work, so you know this is the right side, and the brim is going to fold like so on top of it, and you have, this is the end, and you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of right side stitch, and these are the ones that you picked up. So what you want to do is go into that first stitch and knit, like if to knit. So put your needle from the bottom to the top, and then go to the back and pick up a stitch, and you can see them very clearly because it shows the separation. So pick up a stitch from the back and then come to the front and pick up as if to knit, take off and bring as if to purl, and then go and pick up another stitch from the back. Again, you're going to pick up as if to knit, take off, and then as if to purl. Now you go and pick up another stitch from the back. See, they're very clear to see, especially if it's thick yarn, they're very clear. So you go in, pick up as if to knit, take off, and as if to purl. And what you're doing is that you're creating a new row. See? So again, we're going to go and pick up a stitch from the back. Again, you pick up as if to knit, take off, and purl, and then one from the back, and then as if to knit, take off, and purl, and then one from the back, as if to knit, take off, and purl, and one from the back. And I will see you when I finish this. This is where I did my seam, and you can see that it doesn't show. So that's the way it's supposed to look. Okay, so I picked up another piece of yarn to sew the top, and I'm going to make a knot there. I love knots. So okay, so on this curly part you're going to go in and out twice. So that means go in to that knot there and out the next knot, and then we might as well take past this because it's a strange yarn to sew with. And then again go in and bring it out on the next one. And then we're going to skip this smooth part. And we're going to skip all the way to the next curly part. So we go in where the curly one is, right there, and skip one, get on the next knot, skip one, go into that knot, and in and out on the next knot. Let me go find it. There we go. All right, so we pass the yarn there. Now we skip this part here and we go in the curly part, and we're going to go in and out, in and out, and then tighten it, and then skip that straight stitch part and go into the curly part again, in and out, in and out, and again tighten it. This needs to be really tight because it's all the way at the top. So even if you have to go in the back and make sure that all those parts are gathered in. Okay, so again you're going to skip the straight part and go in the curly one, and you go in and out, in and out, pass your yarn, make sure that all these parts are in. Okay, I think I already got to, yes, so I'm done. I'm going to pass my yarn on the first one of the first curly part, because this needs to go in, and there we go. Get all these in there and tighten it as much as you can. Don't break your yarn. So make a knot and then bring both ends in and weave them in. And you can use a pom-pom on top if you wish, or you can just leave it like that, because this is a very pretty hat. It really doesn't need anything else. But this is the way it's supposed to be in the top. And I will take some pictures of this so you can see how it looks. And thank you very much for watching. Please share us with your friends and like our page and subscribe. I will see you next time.